YouTube, it's your boy Benji. We back in between the ropes. If you're new, please don't forget to subscribe, man. Slap that like button, a big chop, man. Look, if you didn't know, I recently got back into wrestling, and the success of WrestleMania 40 really kept me in the loop. It kept me locked in, man. But in the year 2025, I don't know. It feels as if WWE has been slacking. If you are not new, you probably know that I recently started watching AEW as well. And I've been pleasantly surprised the content that we're getting on a night in, night out basis over there. So I'm definitely going to be catching a lot more matches of others there on Patreon. We are checking out a lot, TV show and movies additionally. So I do appreciate the people that are allowing us to create this community. And I do appreciate y'all for, we just jumped over 600 subs. Let's get a clap. Let's get an applause. Let's get a clap. Let's get an applause. Applause in the chat. Boom in the chat. Let's freaking go. Oh, shoot, my fault. My audio's off. I had clapping going this whole time. Guys, you understand. I'm still getting used to it all. Anyways, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I'm sorry. At the end of the day, we just got information that WWE is going to be streaming programming on ESPN. WrestleMania will be a part of ESPN's new direct-to-consumer streaming service starting in 2026, thanks to an agreement between WWE and ESPN. The deal, which was announced on Wednesday, will include two-night events such as WrestleMania and SummerSlam, plus other premium live events including Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, and Money in the Bank. The WWE will produce the events for ESPN platforms, which will serve as their exclusive U.S. domestic home. So, I will say, ESPN has plenty of benefits if you are somebody who's tuning into sports day in and day out, and you can reap the benefits for a measly $30 a month. Now, if you're wondering where all the archives of prior PLEs and SmackDown and Raw episodes will go, I don't know. I don't have an idea. You may have to keep that Peacock subscription active, as well as Netflix, and whatever you're using to watch SmackDown. Also, Saturday night's main event will not be on ESPN. So plenty of people fear that the prices will continue to go up down the line, and y'all think that in-person tickets will climb too? I completely forgot to make an edit of this, but I told y'all a while back that I actually went to a SmackDown. It ended up being a meaningless SmackDown. And by meaningless, I mean nothing really eventful happened in this episode. And if I had to really show you this episode in its totality, nothing that happened in this episode actually continued to what's going on in the storyline today. And this was just a month and a half ago. This was right before Money in the Bank, which is crazy that was literally just the other day. Okay, I'm looking at the dates. It was a little longer than a month and a half ago. So that's probably why I think I got to a certain point where I just was it's too late for me to drop a vlog. But I had pretty solid seats. If you look at kind of where I am, I mean, you have the people behind the barricades. Then as soon as you enter the stairs, I'm probably 6 or 7 rows up. I can't remember exactly. I had to look at the ticket. But why I think it's important for me to mention the fact that it was a meaningless episode was for a couple reasons. Dudes and dudettes. This SmackDown did not include Cody Rhodes, did not include The Rock, John Cena, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Randy Orton, Jey Uso, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Dominic Mysterio. I could keep going. I could keep going. I didn't even get Charlotte Flair. Chelsea Green was there, though. I don't remember if she came in her Secret Service, though. I will tell you, we didn't know what we were walking into until we arrived at the arena and I took my seats. I paid $150 for this and I had to drive over an hour. Now, we've heard that the people in the arena, the folks buying the merch and spending the cash are the ones that matter. In the end of the day, we aren't just looking to hate here. The money we are giving this company to receive a terrible product is just insane. Remember, I think it's important to remind y'all there were almost 0 stars in the building. Which, at the end of the day, I would think it's a dope opportunity for them to build up some of the guys on the roster that don't typically get the TV time. But that didn't happen either. I got to see Fraxium and DIY, which, are going to give you some good in-ring matches. But again, did I pay over $150? And you can see I'm not out there, you know what I'm saying, right in front of the barricade. I'm solid seats, but I want the best for $150. And we ain't even talking about WrestleMania. This is just a regular SmackDown with 0 stars. So I'm just saying, imagine when the stars start showing up, guys. Imagine when things now are billed to ESPN and we have ESPN branding all over the place. We've already seen the Slim Jim tables. We've already seen the Cash Apps with all these different companies. Dude, these guys are going to start rocking these brands on their gear. I don't know. It's like what I've been saying. WWE has become a cash grab, and I'm sorry if you got epilepsy. It's become very apparent too that they're just gonna continue to rely on nostalgia. I continue to tell y'all, bro, if we've been watching wrestling, let's say 10 years ago, like me, I pretty much was locked in 10 years ago. If you had to extrapolate yourself from that time period, and you would look at it right then, the stars of then are the stars of today. You got Roman Reigns, John Cena. You've got Brock Lesnar. You got Cody Rhodes. I mean, most of these guys that were getting TV time, Randy Orton, are still receiving said TV time today. Cool. But how have you not done anything and you have all this new cream of crop talent ready to go and none of them are getting any love? It hurts my heart to say it. I showed up. This kid gonna get out of the way. I showed up and watched LA Knight, who was the biggest star in the building that night. You can maybe make an argument for Alexa Bliss, but we hadn't seen her for months going into this show. So, LA Knight, a guy that many people believe was supposed to be a world champion, lost to JC Mateo. And this is a dude I don't even believe. I don't think at the time we even understood who he was or what his name was. What is this? What is this all like again, I say meaningless. What did this episode do? What happened? What has come of anything that happened in this episode? Absolutely nothing. The person who won the men's Money in the Bank briefcase was on Raw. The person who won the women's briefcase was on SmackDown. She wasn't on this episode either. So this is Money in the Bank qualifying. Has done nothing. Has done absolutely nothing. Now, I told y'all about how at what was the show? SummerSlam? The crowd was out there chanting, "We want Kross." So, it's very obvious who the crowd wants to see perform, succeed, and at the very least, get some TV time. Triple H turns around and tells the crowd, "You got him. Brock Lesnar's here." So, it's like, what are you doing? Even Karrion Kross himself replied to this tweet and said, "Look, unreal, they write the scripts, the fans want the truth. Thank you, TikTok." So he's more so speaking to the people that are in the arena, shouting his name, that want to see him perform. But I just find it crazy because I just listened to a podcast interview with Paul Heyman going on there talking to Ariel about how it's almost contrived that the WWE's got a plan for Kross. And he may be alluding to the fact that Karrion Kross may be re-signing because he was like, think about it. We take him off TV, the people chant for him, and instead of giving him to the crowd in a timely fashion where he's getting matches and TV time, you hold him back. Which means that people are going to cheer harder and harder. And guess who this happened to? Stone Cold. Paul Heyman is a great storyteller. He's a great person to interview with. He makes things sound really, really good. Are you trying to tell me that WWE is holding back Karrion Kross because they believe that he can be the next Stone Cold? He's 40. With nothing to show for the last 3 years in WWE. So they've been doing all this for years and years, off and on, start and stop, start and stop, start and stop. To turn him into Stone Cold, nice. Paul Heyman, I appreciate you in the amount of allegiance that you have to Triple H and this company. But come on, man. Triple H is out there telling the people that John Cena was the one who wanted Brock Lesnar. He laid out his possible competitors, and we just made it happen. But John Cena has denied that this is a real thing. He says, I've been saying the same thing for 25 years. They deal the cards, I play them. He ain't choose nothing. He ain't choose nothing for nobody. And again, going back to WWE Unreal. This is why you can't hide anymore. All the finger pointing was done in WWE Unreal, and people have been trying to say this and that in order to obfuscate from taking any responsibility. The WWE Unreal show, we saw The Rock and Triple H having conversations about what they're going to do with the Final Boss Soul turn and John Cena turn 2 hours before the show. Not like, okay, let's tighten it up and make sure we... No. What are we going to do today? They're on camera discussing what they're going to do 2 hours before the show. You think this stuff was long drawn out? Paul Heyman, additionally, in this interview, was talking about how WWE has severed ties with Travis Scott. So now Travis Scott is a part of a moment that's going to go down in history, a la the John Cena heel turn. Yet, he's no longer part of the WWE. The Rock was brought in order to help increase ticket prices, and then they just couldn't figure out what to do afterward, and just, Rock, don't do what you want to do, and we'll figure it out. John Cena had the greatest heel turn. One of the greatest, at the very least. People were making that argument. To then just have that dissipate on a random episode of SmackDown just because Cody Rhodes said, I want to fight this real John Cena. After plenty of people said the exact same thing and they tried to confuse, or they were trying to dig about what happened about John Cena, what really made him turn, what really made him go down this path. Cody Rhodes himself even asked that question. CM Punk, Randy Orton, and John Cena didn't listen to anything they had to say. Then just randomly in SmackDown, he just says, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this. Now, we could have seen 100 different ways this could have been creatively done. We could have had heel John Cena show up at SummerSlam and Brock Lesnar hitting him with an F5, which could have made him reconsider things. We could have had Brock Lesnar interrupting the match. Okay, but you want Cody Rhodes to win clean in order to, I guess, cement him as a champion? It doesn't do anything. So now what are we going to do with Brock Lesnar? Nobody knows. I don't know what's going on, man. This company is a far cry from what we got to see. And I understand that, again, they have to increase the amount of eyes on the product and they have to grow. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But at the end of the day, they are trying to, which in theory makes sense, move with a company like Disney / ESPN, which is going to continue to grow and get more eyes on the product. And they're going to be nationwide and even global. It's only right that you become a part of that wave. But again, let's think about it. We have 10 Grande Americanos. You've got a bunch of fans looking for Karrion Kross, who, by multiple reports, has not received a deal, nor has looking to sign a deal. Let's say he did sign a deal in the meantime. How are you going to revive him? He's done nothing over the last year. Dude, in over a year and a half, this dude has not won anything. He lost last year at WrestleMania. Then he got no matches, no TV time, nothing afterward. He won a couple main events, like he beat Tozawa. It's not even on TV. We saw him lose 2-1 to Sami Zayn. And mind you, those twos are Sami Zayn's W's, Karrion Kross's L's. And sure, it could be an easy argument to make that they've done this similarly for other people, but they haven't. Look at LA Knight. Anyways, let's look at this here. The cost of being a WWE fan in 2026. I think this is reasonable information. $30 a month for ESPN. Netflix is going to be $8 to $25 a month, depending on how many ads you like to see. Peacock is 8 to 14 months. Because, like I said, they're still trying to figure out what they're going to do with the old content. Basic cable and internet cost, about $55 to $100. Because if you want to watch SmackDown / NXT. So you're talking about $150 a month for WWE fans. $18.30. I don't know what the $18.30 comes from. Maybe annually is what they're talking about there. Oh, or maybe just I don't know. I don't know what that number is. Fans that access ESPN through a traditional pay TV provider will also have access to the new features. So again, if you already have ESPN, this may be a benefit for you. And these are some of the people's sentiments. You had to spend $80 to avoid spending another 30. And if you can't afford it, don't buy it. This is what WWE cares about: the views, the pops, the virality of the moments. That's why you have guys like Jelly Roll showing up at SummerSlam and taking time away from the guys that traditionally wrestle. Jelly Roll is going to have done that, and I bet you he won't be on SmackDown this week. It's like 2 steps forward and take 2 steps back. All in all, I think the biggest arguments from people like me are just going to come from, if you're asking people to spend more money, what are we getting in return? It's not like the product is sky high. This is amazing. We're seeing stars birth amongst our very eyes. It's not like we're getting compelling TV week in and week out. This is rough. Like, literally, some of my friends are trying to go watch an episode of Raw in the next month or so. And I'm like, man, I want to, but I do it for y'all. I do it for y'all. If y'all want me to go out to the Raw, hopefully things will be better than it was at SmackDown. Like, that's kind of another reason why I didn't drop the vlog. I was just upset at what I saw. I couldn't believe I drove out there. I couldn't believe I paid that money. I was very upset. I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. I spent $150. And y'all see where I was. And you saw what I got. I didn't even know who was gonna be there. And then when I watched the show, I was just sitting there flabbergasted. I said, nah, this is crazy. But y'all let me know, man. I had to get this little rant to y'all. A lot's going on. Let me get your input.